What is up, YouTube? So, God, I love that sound so much. All right, so today's video is going to be about kind of two things. The Accuracy International ATX that I have here and a training day, and you get to see me kicking some rust off because the last time I legitimately got to train long range, or precision rifle, I should say, it was about 2 months ago, which was occurring during the Aero Precision Solace Episode 3 in Arizona, with the last course that I taught with Modern Day Sniper. I'd done some 100-yard stuff between now and then, but this is my first time since then actually shooting at some distance. And by distance, I mean, I think the furthest thing I saw out here was like 1050, something like that. But there's a lot of props out here. This is actually my first time shooting on this range. So I was validating my trajectory. I zeroed first, validated my trajectory, and kind of got a feel for what the winds are doing. It looked pretty calm, but I can tell this range is going to be a little tricky because it's based on the math about 6 to 7 miles an hour, at least when I was validating. Now, the Accuracy International ATX, I figured this was a good time to talk about it. I have approximately somewhere around 3,500 rounds on this rifle. Not this barrel, but the rifle itself. So this is a quick change barrel system here, and I'll get into it. But between 265 barrels that I have, a 308 barrel, and a 6 Creed barrel, just kind of in total, approximately 3,500 rounds throughout the entire rifle. This rifle's been all over the country. Let's see, between teaching, competition, training, things along those lines. I took this to Hat Creek with the SEALs. The SEAL sniper instructors, my buddy's one of my best friends is one of the civilian instructors there, so they were all nice enough to let me tag along to that Hat Creek course, and I did that with a 6 Creed barrel. Did really well there. Taught in numerous states, back with Achilles Heel Tactical, I have a hard time saying that word, back in 2022 when I originally purchased this rifle, and then throughout 2023 with Modern Day Sniper. So it's been all over. We even train, I brought this out when Sweden sent over their Tier 1 Special Ops unit and sent us their snipers. I brought this rifle, actually, I'm sorry, no, I did not bring this rifle when training those dudes. We were shooting 338 Lapuas, so my mistake there. But it wasn't there, but it's been pretty much everywhere else. I've trained a lot of SWAT snipers with this gun. I just did the Real World Sniper Challenge in September last year with the 308 barrel on here. And yeah, I'm loving it. So first of all, what's my relationship with Accuracy International? Well, nothing, because in fact, they won't even acknowledge my posts that I tag them in on Instagram. So also, my Instagram is Saving Ryan's Privates. If you go to my YouTube profile, you'll see the link on my page there, and you can go there. But it's Saving_Ryan's_Privates with a Z if you're interested. So, got this in 2022. Now, those of you guys that are very familiar with the ATX rifle, you might already notice something that's a little different than most ATXs, and that would be this stock. So, this stock actually belongs to the Accuracy International AXSR chassis. So if you buy like the full ASR rifle, this is what the stock that it comes with. But I had the AXSR chassis with like, I had some different actions for it. I think an impact, Defiance, different barrels, stuff like that. But I love this stock so much that I was like, oh, I want to keep this and throw it on the ATX. Well, kind of ran into some issues because while the 4 screws that mate the stock to the actual chassis itself are the same, you lose the ability for it to have that friction lock. It doesn't truly lock, but it has that friction lock when you close it, so it's not just dangling all over the place. So that's the issue, because I believe the female end is on the ATX originally. Don't quote me on this, it's been a while, but it's on female here and then male here, or whatever the case was, something was reversed. So I ended up doing some digging, talking to some guys, and then I actually ended up getting the hard to get ATX folder. So Mile High Shooting, they have them in stock, but they don't advertise it. But at least at the time, they didn't advertise it. but if you called them, they have some and they'd hook it up. So I spent like $250 somewhere in that ballpark on a folder just to get these two pieces. So I still have the rest of the folder, it's just sitting in a box somewhere, but I needed them there. On top of that, they then didn't fit because the hole diameter here was different than this, or whatever the original was. Things just weren't working out for me. And so I ended up, my buddy, he owns WeldBot out in Ohio. This was back when I was instructing for AHT. And he has his own welding machine shop, all that stuff. Super smart guy. And I took the screw to him and we shaved it down and made it fit in here, super tight fit. So now I can collapse the stock and it stays in place minus like force. Like there's the friction that it has, but then with force it'll go, but that's pretty much any of them. Even though regular ATX stock with the folder on it is going to do that. But yeah, so that's what happened there. Let's see, other than I told you about the relationship with AI. I got this rifle from Mile High Shooting, it's the same place I got the folder from. I did get it at a pretty solid discount, and that was just because I know Joe Dawson, Bruiser Industries. I don't know him, but we talk from time to time. He's a good dude, and he put me in touch with the owners there at Mile High, and they helped me out a lot. So big shout out to Joe and Mile High Shooting for that. I do appreciate that a lot. But yeah, I've been running this now. I went to take the entire rifle apart, and using the correct bit, I did strip one of the screws already. And this was back in 2022 when I first got it. So that was a pain in the ass, but I got it out and AI sent me a new screw for it. No big deal, it was easy. A few months ago, sometime last year, the trigger actually went down. And I know that those of you that have been following me on Instagram for at least like 2 years now are probably laughing their ass off right now, because you guys have been following me for a long time and you know, damn, like just literally everything goes wrong with this dude. So it's kind of funny, but sucks at the same time. Anyways, trigger went down, AI hooked it up and they fixed it. This is the AI competition trigger. I haven't done anything to it. I didn't tune it or anything like that. I've just taken a look at it. But as far as changing springs, any of that stuff, I didn't do it. It just went dead on me one day when training. To my understanding, I'm not gonna say who told me this because I can't, but to my understanding, if you buy an ATX now, it comes with the same trigger, but possibly a little bit differently internally, if I'm saying that correctly. I don't know all the specifics of it. They don't advertise it, but supposedly as of somewhat recent, they are doing things differently to the triggers, and you should not run into that issue. Whatever the case was, don't quote me on that, but whatever the case is, they fixed it. It's good to go. Haven't had an issue since. I love this rifle. You'll see I just have 2 weights on here. Today's actually the first day shooting with weights on this, so that'll be different. But yeah, so rifle's doing great. Let's see, anything else I want to touch on with it? I got the Hoptic USA piece on this. Oh, I did actually get my AI bedded from Spartan Precision. Mark sponsors me. And why did I bed an Accuracy International? Well, 2 reasons. One, why not? It's not going to hurt anything to do it. Do I think it needed it? No, but it doesn't hurt it to do it, so it's more just like a peace of mind thing. Brian Morgan at Hat Creek even suggests, yeah, you should probably do it. I don't think it needs it, but why not? And then 2, it didn't cost me a penny because he sponsors me, so even more, why not? So I have this action bedded to this, so it's a really solid fit. Barrels are stupid easy. Just loosen this one screw with a 4mm hex, unscrew the barrel, put the new one in, torque that to 49 inch-pounds, Fix It 6 makes a dedicated 49 inch-pound for the AIs, and it's so easy. I love it. And on top is the Zero Compromise 527 with the Impact 2 reticle. I'm a big fan of Zero Compromise. They don't sponsor me. I'm just a believer in their products. I paid full price. I'm sorry, I had military discount. I got military discount on it, but pretty much any military veteran law enforcement guy to my knowledge can do that. So essentially I paid as much for it as anyone else is going to pay for it. Yeah, a little thing different with ATX I noticed though is if you're familiar with AKs, they have the lip on the front. These will have to angle in a little bit to get it going, but you get used to it. The biggest difference when switching from a traditional rifle to an AI like this is probably, in my opinion, going to be the bolt throw. Sometimes, especially newer, it can be a little stiff. So when you're on a proper barricade, you might see that the rifle tilts a little bit. So it takes some getting used to. You might see me fumble a little bit today with that because, it's, like I said, it's been a little while since I got to actually shoot and train with this. But we're going to roll with it. So today we're shooting the Eagle Eye 140 grain Bergers. And Justin there helped me out. I've met the owner, Justin, and great packaging. I love their ammo. I just zeroed it this morning, probably about an hour ago. Got velocities on it. It's at 26.95 average. And over a 10-shot string, it was like a 4.9 SD. Really good stuff. It groups really well also. But yeah, this is what we're going to be shooting today. I have 65 rounds left. Don't know if I'm going to go through all that today. I might go through it today, but you're probably not going to see all of that shooting being done on film. But we got a lot to work with today. So like I said, this is my first time on this range here, but we got a bus, we got some vehicles, tank traps, let's see, rooftops, pipes, fences, you name it. And the range spans pretty broad. So different types of winds that we're going to be working with, some micro terrain as well. We got an entire Connex box. I don't know if I doubt you guys can see it right now. Connex box that goes to 3 floors with different windows and stuff to shoot out of. So it's going to be a lot of positional. I'd like to do some reloads. But yeah, so it was kind of like a mini review on the AI, but the rest of the video is going to be more me running the gun and kicking some rust off, doing some training. You guys can see the AI in action. I have the trigger cam hooked up. I'm going to hook up my Insta360. Hopefully those of you that saw the last Aero Precision Solace episode, hopefully you guys like those 3 points of view. That's, as of now in my head talking, I'm probably gonna stick to that layout. It might not turn out that way when you guys actually see this, when I get to the editing process. But yeah, so one thing I want to touch on is I did start my own training company. So I said in the last video that I did with the Solace that I wasn't going to say anything just yet. I'm still working on some other things that I like to do in terms of employment, but in the meantime, I have officially started my own LLC, and it's called Emissary Consulting LLC. It's just me. So I worked for AHT in 2022, worked for Modern Day Sniper in 2023, and now I started my own company. Wasn't really by choice. I didn't leave Modern Day Sniper by choice, but we're cool there. There's no animosity between us there. We're tight. But I did go ahead and figure, well, screw it, I guess I might as well just start my own training company now. It's a training and consulting company, so I plan on doing like consulting for companies that are interested in me trying out products or doing some R&D, giving feedback, things like that, as well as traveling and teaching. I don't have a website yet. I don't have a link or anything for it. I'm just letting you guys know. You guys are the first people to hear about it. I know, roll your eyes, another training company. Trust me, I don't like it either, but here we are. And so we'll see what happens. And throughout 2024, I'd like to try and maybe on weekends go try and book courses throughout the country, spread the word. We'll see what happens. I don't know anything either. But I will be using my belt setup today from T-Rex Arms. I've got my Agency Arms pistol in a holster. You're going to see that there. I'm just going to leave it on there because I was training with it. Got different mags, so I have an AI mag pouch and pistol pouch, med kit on the back. And I'm going to be running a Sun and Shadow armboard. You're going to see. Big shout out to John there. He made a one-off. I'm the only guy with that armband that's M90 camouflage. Stupid sick. Someone's rolling up, but hopefully it's not another shooter. It's just someone that works here. But whatever. And you'll see me wearing a wristband, a wrist strap that you use in the gym because, well, my wrist is kind of fucked up. But you guys are going to see how today goes. Thanks. All right, guys, first stage we're going to go through. It's one target. It's just shy of 400 yards, like 396, I believe. 2 shots here, 2 here, 2 there, 2 there. I've got the shot timer over there to end because the pack timer has a hard time picking up the suppressed shot. So it should at least register the last shot when I get down there. One target, 2 shots each position, 4 positions. Total of 8 rounds. And we'll give it a whirl, see how it is. All gear in hand. One of my pre-fire checklists is always making sure the torque of the suppressor is down, because ask me how I learned that the hard way. All right. Oh, already weird start. All right, that was not great. Last shot was 46-45, so 8 shots, 46-45. Got hung up on that last position. The back placement was not good. As you saw, I was fighting it, it was falling back, so that's something I need to work on there for me. That's why you saw more wobble going on there. I was intentionally breaking shots favoring right, because I know there's a little bit of right to left going on out there, but dropped one round, had a feeling it was going to be that position as soon as I set up. I should have taken the time to ensure a slightly more stable position, so I wasn't trying to time it as much. But overall, not too bad. First stage of the day, we're going to roll with it. Let's see how it goes. All right, guys, so this one target, about 600 yards, 5 positions. I'm going to do 1 shot each post. First 3, do a reload, finish the last 2, and we'll see how it goes. I got about a half mil dialed out for wind. My plan is to take a little bit more time on the first shot to ensure that the wind call is good, and then be able to roll from there. So we'll see how it goes. All right, happy with that. Ideally, we picked the pace up now. All right, after this, do a reload. Drop that. Same targets. Target. Check camp. All right, clean that. 55-81. Not terrible. I want to go faster than that. That was with a reload, 5 shots. 3, reload, 2. The plate is about 0.8 wide. So that's why I want to make sure my wobble zone is relatively good to go. It doesn't leave the confines of the target, and being able to execute a clean trigger press from that point. Working some reloads, working on the wobble zone. This one, my least favorite, because it's the most unconventional shooting position, in my opinion, with that. Like, it's too high to go kneeling, and it's too low to really be standing upright. So work with it, but I'm happy with that run overall. So let's go on to the next thing. Okay, guys, so this one, because of all the movement that I have going on, you're not going to be able to see it through the phone. You'll just see the first person view and trigger cam footage. I've got 2 targets, 866 and 924, 2 shots each at each target at each position. So it's going to be from in there. It's going to be on the pipes over there, and we're going to run up to the roof and finish it up there. There's going to be a reload that's going to have to happen. I've got 8 shots in each mag. So by the time I finish that up, I'm going to reload, go up the stairs, and then go from there. So let's get to it. Also using Hornady ammo for this. All right, got the doped out on, 6.8. How's that wind looking? Check cant. Let's try 0.9. Up to right. Drop that to 0.7. Impact. All right, 7.6. Impact. Impact. Smooth. Drop this. So I know now 6.8. Now we're going to the pipes. Here. Already got the dope dot on 6.8. So put that 0.7 again. Nope, wind died down. Impact. All right, 7.6. Less wind. Impact. All right, got that out. Go to 6.8. On the roof. Steep ass steps. Right here. Drop. Get myself oriented. But taking off the roof. Okay. Go 0.6. Impact. Impact. 7.6. There we go. All right. Pretty good run. Pretty good run. The winds kept not changing direction, but the velocity kept changing. But kept up with it, follow through, and analyze the wind, make adjustments on the fly. Cool. Okay, guys, so this one's going to be 4 positions twice. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on the rocks. Do a reload, because I'm definitely getting my reloads in today. Stay on that same rock. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 8 rounds total. It's one target, 674 yards. I got 4.4 dot on the gun. And the target is not very forgiving for wind. So we will see how this goes. I did experiment right now, as you can see, just to figure out, kind of like get an idea what the wind's doing. Because I'm not so much like really trying to hamper on wind right now today, especially with some of these thinner targets. It's more so doing the position. So get my wind call fine and then work on the positions and building those. There's a time and place where I'm focusing on just wind, then just positions, then a combination of the two, which is obviously what really matters. But right now we're gonna go ahead, go through this, and see how it goes. Oh my God. All right, on the beat. I'm going to take another 1/10 out of that wind. Impact. Impact. I'm going to take, now I'm going to leave the wind actually. Impact, reload, same spot. Off the right. I'm actually gonna take that another 10th out. We'll see if that's the right move. Impact. 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 Did the timer pick it up? Let's see. 119.86. So, had that been a 2-minute time limit, that would have just made it. And I dropped, I don't remember, I think I dropped 2 rounds. Not too bad though, I'm pretty happy with it. Going slow, that's definitely not a very forgiving size target. It's 674. All right, got Dude dialed on. Got about wind of like 0.4 right dialed on. Let's see how it goes on the timer. Ooh, steering wheel. And we're moving. Impact. That just screwed me over a little bit there. Alright, gotta stand here. Do a reload, send another round, back. Alright, reload. Off the right, I'm gonna dial that wind. Take it a 10th out of that wind. Take another 10th out of that wind. Impact. Last spot. Impact. Here we go. So I dropped 1. And timer's still going. Didn't pick up the time, but alrighty. Okay guys, debrief. It's finally over. There's a lot more than what you guys saw. Doing different things, working on different barricades and positions, full transparency, because I just say it as it is. Almost every stage that you watch me put myself through, I redid at least once or twice or so. Based on like, I don't know, well, one, this run was trash. I completely slipped my mind, kicking rust off, or I was like, I don't know if I really want these targets. Let me try these targets, and then setting up cameras in a different spot or whatever the case may be. So a lot of these were redone, but I'm not gonna do like a giant long one-take YouTube video because I've been out here for hours already. So I wanted to hit the main points that I felt were pretty good runs to at least put on for YouTube for you guys to see, yet still see that, you know, I mess up, but Got some good hits with some reasonable positions that I did. Yeah, so whatever, if you want to write stolen valor in the comments, that's fine, but it's not really stolen valor because I just told you. So anyways, debrief points. AI performed flawlessly as expected. The ATX is a sick rifle. I love this gun. The Eagle, I had Eagle Eye ammo that I told you I started with, but obviously based on all the shooting that I was doing, I ended up having to switch to other ammo. So I had some Hornady 140 ELD match line around versus the Berger 140 Eagle Eye, and the zero was the exact same zero. There was just a velocity difference with the Hornady. So I validated to make sure everything was still lining up with that gun profile, and then I finished out the rest of the training that I was doing with the Hornady ammo. So part of this was with Eagle Eye, part of it was with Hornady. Main debrief points though that I need to work on for myself was obviously winds are a little tricky on this spot throughout the few hours I've been here, but my main thing wasn't so much of wind today that I was really focusing on. I was warned before coming out here that this side of this facility experiences some tricky winds. And apparently like this was nothing compared to how it was this past weekend from the competition that the guys were telling me about. But I wanted to focus mostly today on building a position and going from there. So it was kind of like a crawl, walk, run. So a lot of times it was one target, but just going on different positions. So I could just focus on one target. Then it was multiple targets. So I had to make sure I remember to dial and change my dope on the fly. And then I was incorporating movement, reloads, multiple targets, things like that. That was my main point of focus. So a lot of these was I got a rough estimate on a wind call first that you guys didn't see, just so I can focus, especially on the smaller targets that were not horizontally forgiving in size. So then I can just dial out some of that wind, if not all of it, and then just focus on the position and trying to hold center. Obviously the goal is show up at a place for the first time like I just did here and crush every position and breeze through it like nothing, and you don't drop a single round. Your wind calls are perfect. That's not realistic. If it happens, you got lucky, unless you know that range specifically. But if you travel the country and go to different venues, you're not a master wind caller. So I'm focusing on different things. But yeah, so overall, I'm happy with it. There were some points like reloads. I need to try and force myself to stay in the gun. Normally that's what I do. I don't know why I didn't do it today, but stay in the optic, do my reload, propping the rifle down with the bag on a barricade. Try not to do it as hard because one of the legs, the bipods, will deploy, if not both, and then that can screw me over when trying to get into smaller positions or thinner positions like the bus windows, and I lose time there, so that's a good debrief. Watching my cant, make sure I'm watching that cant. I have to raise my head up to check my bubble here because the trigger cam on a zero compromise optic, I gotta lay it horizontally, so I have to raise my head to see the bubble. But making sure I'm staying on top of that as best as I can. Don't forget to adjust dope for different ranges, and just trying to stay calm, cool, and collected through it, and not sacrificing a position that I know is trash just to get a shot off because it never ends well. And so those were my main debrief points for me. Clearly I had rust that I needed to kick off today, which was good. I felt like I got some really good training out of this. But yeah, I encourage you guys to do the same. Go out, create a course of fire for yourselves, get movement involved, get reloads involved, maybe even get malfunctions involved. Multiple targets, single targets, trying to work on speed, not trying to work on speed, but trying to work on wobble zone, knowing when to apply more pressure for stability and recoil management and how those affect each other, letting off pressure at certain times based on the size of the target, a whole slew of things. But this video is kind of like a little bit of a review on the ATX, not crazy, not like a traditional review, more of just a training day for me, kicking so much needed rust off and going from there. Hopefully you guys got a kick out of it. And I'll see you guys in whatever the next video is going to be. But I appreciate your guys' support that have stuck with me for this long. And yeah, appreciate you guys. We'll see you.